Hello. Hello. I graduated Miss Crane's back in 1965, and I look back on my education fondly. One of the far-reaching habits I developed at Miss Crane's was waiting until the point of desperation to complete, or rather start, my homework. In keeping with that noble academic tradition, I stand before you today with no formal speech. I have no notes, no pink note cards, no hieroglyphics scribbled on my palms, nothing. Well, you might be thinking, this is a women's meeting, so let's give her the benefit of the doubt. I mean, after teaching at Columbia yesterday, Miss Holland attended a low-impact aerobics class with weights, picked up her children from school, took the oldest to drawing with computers class at the Metropolitan, and the youngest to swimming for gifted students. On returning home, she immediately started grilled mesquite free-range chicken with balsamic vinegar and sun-dried tomatoes, and advised her investment banker, well-rounded husband on his future dealings with the city ballet, put the children to bed, recited their favorite Greek myths and sex education legends, dashed to the library to call the 22-year-old squash player who's passionately in love with her to tell him that they can only be friends, finished writing 10 pages of her new book, took the rest of the chicken over to the church that feeds the homeless, and massaged her husband's feet, relieved any fears that he might be getting old by doing it in the kitchen, read 40 pages of the Inferno in Italian, took a deep breath, and turned off the light. So after all of this, we will forgive Miss Holland for not preparing a speech today. She's exemplary and exhausted. Thank you, but you forgive too easily. And I respect my fellow alumna enough to know that I should attempt to tell the truth. Oh, hurry up, Heidi. Okay. Why don't I have a speech for the Women Where Are We Going luncheon? Well, actually, yesterday I did teach at Columbia. We discussed Alexander Pope and his theory of the picturesque. And afterward, I did attend an exercise class. I walked into the locker room to my favorite place where I can usually put on my simple black leotard in peace. Two ladies, younger than me, both wearing pressed blue jeans, were discussing the reading curriculum at Marymount Nursery School. A woman my mother's age was going on and on about her son at Harvard Law School and his wife, a Brazilian hairdresser who was by no stretch of the imagination good enough for him. They were joined by Mrs. Green, who has perfect red fingernails, and confessed to anyone who would listen the throes of having her dinner party on the same night as a benefit at the Met. All of this, in the middle of them, was a naked gray-haired woman extolling the virtues of brown rice in women's fiction. And then 22, 27-year-old hotshots came in. How do I know they were hotshots? Well, they were drenched in purple and green leather. And as soon as they entered the room, they pulled out their alligator date books and began calling away to the office. They even brought their own professional heavyweights. They seemed to have everything under control. It was at this point I decided I would slip out and take my place in the back row of the class. I picked up my overstuffed bag, but as I was just between Mrs. Green's raccoon coat and a purple leather bomber jacket, I tripped on one of the hotshots' goddamn 5-pound professional weights. And out of my bag flew a week's worth of change, raspberry gum wrappers, and Alexander Pope's On the Picturesque, right on the naked, gray-haired woman's foot. I began giggling. Oh, that's okay. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't wear leather pants. I'm sorry I don't eat brown rice. I'm sorry I don't want to stand naked and discuss Zeus sneakers. I'm sorry I don't want you to find out I'm worthless and superior. I was embarrassed. No, humiliated in front of every woman in that room. I was envying women I didn't even know. I was envying women I didn't even like. I hear whispers. I see chairs moving. Yeah, I see. I have 1 minute left. So anyway, the women start filing out of the locker room. Jeanette, the instructor, ties her hair in a ponytail and she winks at me. See you in class, Heidi. Don't forget math this time. And I look at her pink, kind face. I'm sorry, Jeanette. I think I'm too sad to go to class. And suddenly, I stop competing with all of them. Suddenly, I'm not even racing. I'm just not happy, I said. I'm afraid I haven't been happy for some time. I don't blame the women in the locker room. I don't blame any of us. We're all intelligent, concerned, good women. It's just that I feel stranded. And I thought the point was that we weren't supposed to feel stranded. That we wouldn't be stranded. I thought the point was that we were in this together. Thank you. Hi, Dr. Ceciola. I just wanted to give you a little wrap up on what I chose to do for my project. And I decided to portray Heidi Holland in her monologue at the Women Where Are We Going luncheon. And in my portrayal, I decided to cut certain parts that I felt weren't as relevant to the meaning behind the monologue, to stick with the suggested time limit, and also to highlight parts of the monologue that Heidi really feels when she's saying them. I thought that she would feel kind of vulnerable and sarcastic at the same time, her sarcasm kind of covering her vulnerability. And I think that she makes a good message at the end, and her tone really changes throughout. I mean, at the beginning, she's got a cover up, she's performative, she's very not personal, and then as she gets more into her story about the day, she kind of shows a little bit of her bitterness towards these women and how she's trying to let go of that and how she wants us all to be in it together as opposed to feeling isolated by each other. And then at the end, I wanted her to be contemplative about what she was saying and hoping that even though she didn't have a formal speech, she was making an impact on the people she was talking to. So that's my story about my monologue, and I hope you enjoyed it. And as far as taping goes, I decided to use my new computer for something for something better than just, surfing the web. And so I taped it myself on the computer, and I edited parts out as I went along. So hopefully it's pretty seamless. But if not, I was trying. So I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, that's about it. Thanks for a good semester.